With the release of Revelations on the Xbox One and the PC, we received a new music video, and this music video gives us more insight into the Revelations storyline, which is nice because we haven't really received much since the ending of Revelations. What I'm going to be doing is breaking down this music video beat by beat so you guys can get a full understanding of everything in this music video. We're going to begin with the opening scene. It takes place directly after Garad Krovi, after we have sent Nikolai's soul to Dr. Monty within the house. Now, Nikolai arrives, but he's the older version of himself, the soul that we saw float up in the cutscene, and then what Dr. Monty does is he actually transforms him into the child. So this is how this works. There was a lot of confusion and a lot of misunderstanding. I had people ask me if when a soul enters the house, do they arrive as children or are they transformed as children? What's the deal with that? How does it work? And we never really quite knew. We knew we saw an adult version of the soul get sent up, and then we only saw them as children. What actually happens is that they show up as a soul version of their adult self and then are transformed into the soul of a younger version of themselves. That's what's going on here. I'd also like to note, Monty is a little bit of a dick in this scene. I mean, he transforms Nikolai, doesn't really say much, then walks away, and then Nikolai's just kind of wondering, like, what the hell is happening? And then he just walks around the house. And I mean, he ends up finding the children, and it looks like they have fun later on. But Monty, you're a bit of a dickhead. Now, another thing I'd like to point out is this angry confrontation between our four characters. Now, the context of this conversation is really hard to explain, especially since there is no audio. We just see them speaking to one another. The only guess I can make is that this is directly after the Shadow Man has been released. Our characters are kind of just standing in the wake in the aftermath, and they're like, what the hell just happened? What do we need to do? They're angry. And then all of a sudden, we see the Shadow Man out on the deck in front of Dr. Monty. So now we know where Dr. Monty is during this scene. He was just out taking a walk like nothing mattered in the world, and then boom, the Shadow Man's just right there. One of the questions people had was where the children are when we're playing through Revelations. Why do they just suddenly disappear? And we get a bit of an explanation to that in the Revelations music video. When the Shadow Man is unleashing his reign of terror over that realm, the children are in the house with our characters, so it's not like they disappear or they die or something happens to them. They are actually there. And then our characters go out into battle and the children stay in the house. What we later see in the music video is that Dr. Monty moves them into the basement. They're all there together in the basement hiding. This is probably where they are while everything's going on, and this explains why they're not in the room anymore and why we don't really see them in Revelations. They're underground in the basement. This scene is weird though. Dr. Monty has a very menacing look upon our children, and the children look terrified, almost as if something is about to happen, or as if they're gonna do something to them. It's weird, but then we see Samantha at the window and she sees a light shining through. Now I believe the light symbolizes our character's success in the battle, everything returning to normal, and their perfect universe back to the way it was, because there is no real sunshine in Revelations when our characters are playing through the map. The only light we have is from the Apothecan sun, but this is daylight shining into the realm. Everything is back to normal after we complete the Revelations Easter egg as we see in the ending cutscene, so that's what we're probably seeing. We're seeing the light shine through, and when Samantha sees that, that means everything is back to normal. So where are the children following the Revelations Easter egg? They might actually still be back in the house, which means they might not have died, which is a theory I suggested a little while back when we learned that Maxis may have sacrificed his life when he flew into the Apothecan sun, because we saw those 5 toys fly into the summoning key as well. Now, we don't have an explanation for what those toys are now. That's the only issue, so we now have 2 conflicting theories, but it seems as though when the Revelations Easter egg ends and everything is back to normal, the children are in the basement with Dr. Monty. So at least we have that cleared up. A few more things we were able to learn is that we now have an understanding of how the blood vials actually are used. The blood vials were just empty after the Easter egg. We didn't get an explanation of that, but we can actually see Richtofen drink one of the blood vials in this scene, so that's what happens. When they want to preserve their life and prevent themselves from fading off into non-existence, they drink the blood vials, and having that item from a different universe within them creates a paradox that allows them to survive being wiped. Another thing we see is that the summoning key does actually survive flying into the Apothecan sun. Dr. Maxis may not have survived, but the summoning key still exists. I guess it was able to withstand whatever that was when it flew in, and now it's just kind of floating off into space. And maybe it's better there in space because nobody could use it for malicious purposes like the Apothecons do. That's going to wrap things up for this video, and those were all the little tidbits of story we could drain from the Revelations music video. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit disappointed. I was hoping for a little bit more of an explanation. However, we do get some questions answered, which is pretty nice. I'm gonna be continuing to cover the story as we solve more ciphers, get information from other trailers and whatnot, and also dive into the comic book. So if you'd like to continue to study and learn the zombie storyline, please do stay tuned on my channel and subscribe for more. Black Ops 3 may be over, but the story is not. I'm gonna go, have a great day, and bye.